Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The first frame, Judd Trump to break.
Another big game coming up. Judd Trump breaking off in this semi-final, taking on Daniel Wells, who, as you say, is having the week of his life here. Daniel Wells has gone completely under the radar, but he's arrived here at table 1, taking on good pal and competitor, one of the best in the game, Judd Trump. Who is going to stop Judd Trump's run at the moment? Almost got an air of unbeatability about him. Is it going to be Daniel Wells? Very good opening long red from Dan. The type of ball he's going to have to consistently knock in throughout this match if he's going to have a chance. Been in 2 ranking semi-finals in the past, Daniel. None bigger than this, though.
The first semi-final he got to was 2018 Scottish Open. He won't have fond memories of it, though. He was 4-0 ahead of Mark Allen, but ended up losing. And also, that was previously the biggest check he'd received of 20,000. He's already guaranteed £34,500. And if he was to win this evening, jumps up to guaranteed 76,000.
Daniel Wells, 5.
And that mistake from Daniel Wells, if he's to make that type of mistake today, it could be punished heavily. Judd Trump is so clinical in these big matches. It's a fine line for Dan. It just begs the question, what sort of game plan has he got coming into this game? Do you attack? But it's a fine line between attack and pushing the boat out too much.
1.
You feel it's going to take a very special performance to down this man. Just quickly on the prize money as well, you know, as a player, it's, you try and tell yourself not to think about the prize money and everything that comes with doing well in events. Of course, the likes of Judd Trump won't be thinking about that, and we saw Daniel in his interview post-match yesterday saying, you know, Judd's got too much money, you know, I could do with it. Judd definitely won't be thinking about that, but
9.
You know, Daniel will at the end of the day. It's a massive occasion for him, and that money would be huge.
I think if he's thinking about it before he plays, that's okay. You can use it as a motivating factor because it's so much money pushing up the rankings. It's going to put him in
16.
Great chance of already making the top 32 Grand Prix event in the new year, and maybe a couple of others.
17.
Plus the confidence it would give him, take the pressure off, and starting the season ranked around the 50s. It'll just change his mentality from staying on tour or don't fall off the tour.
22.
Thinking positive and confident about what he wants to happen, which is push on to the top 32. So fantastic for him. Of course, when he's out there, doesn't really thinking about
23.
even winning. If you really want to win in snooker, got to forget about it. Just totally focus on the process, one shot at a time. And again, that's so easily said, very hard to do, particularly in circumstances
28.
and arenas like this.
Perfect cannon to the pack for Judd Trump. didn't go into them with any real pace. It was a controlled split. Now, if he can navigate his way out of this little congested zone, back nicely onto a colour, he could be away in this opening frame. Well, took the decision to play that one right-handed.
Judge Trump, 28.
It was a bit of a stretch. He was hampered over the reds, as you can see, but early mistake from Judd Trump. Didn't have to play that with his opposite hand.
Still would have expected him to get it. However, I think if he takes the extra couple of seconds and gets the spider out, fully expect him to pot it then. And it's such a good start. And sometimes set the tone for the whole match, even though it is best of 11, particularly for him as the favourite. He could have won that frame. First chance, one visit. Would have been putting Daniel under more pressure. Mentioned in his interview yesterday as well that this week he hasn't quite been at his best. That's the difference between Judd Trump of now and when he first came on the tour in his early days. It seemed like he could only win if he was at his best. Whereas now, that's not the case. Such a good all-around game, great patience, discipline, and plus he's just so hungry to win. Whatever it takes, he'll do.
And Judd has had a very plain sailing route to the semi-finals. He's only dropped 6 frames throughout the whole tournament. So if Daniel Wells is going to do a number over him today, he's going to have to win as many frames as Judd has conceded this whole event. Another dominant display from a player who really is starting to dominate snooker. And as Fergal mentioned at the top of the show, a win today for Judd Trump will send him back to the top of the world rankings, with a chance to extend that lead at the top in the final tomorrow. All sorts on the line this week for Judd Trump. The rankings, the prize money, lifting the Xi'an Grand Prix title for the very first time to become the first ever champion of the event.
Yeah, I think a fully confident Judd Trump would take on that straight red. As difficult as it is, but just trying to find something, an element of safety in it. And again, the impressive thing wasn't so much that he got it, but the game management. Not just managing his game, but also himself. In that interview, he mentioned he just wants to win every tournament. 28 ranking titles already.
3.
Could well surpass Ronnie O'Sullivan's title list, amount of titles. 41, by far the younger man.
Well, he's currently tied with Steve Davis on 28 ranking titles, so if he was to lift it tomorrow, he'd eclipse the great Steve Davis. Still so very young in the context of things as well. Judd Trump done so much in his career already. Still so much to come from him.
Again, during the week, we were talking about the conversation, where does Judd stand in the list of all-time greats? I think everybody'd have him in his top 10, but probably not top 5. However, he does have the second highest winning percentage of all players of all time on tour. He's won 71% of his matches as a pro, and only Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's won 75%, is higher. And those other serial winners, Hendry's at 68, Davis 63, John Higgins 69. So that shows the level of success he's had. But to get into that top 5 conversation, he will have to win more majors. God love him, he's only won 4 of them so far.
9.
Yeah, that's poor, isn't it, really?
Heart goes out to him.
What a glorious chance this now for Judd Trump to take the opening frame here. Very important for Daniel Wells to try and tame Judd for as long as possible, keep him under control, because as all top players are, top champions, they're very good front runners, and this game could very quickly get away from Daniel Wells. You know, we're talking about this match as if we're already writing Daniel Wells off. That's absolutely not the case. He's an incredibly capable player himself, but he's going to have to produce a career best performance today if he's going to beat this man. Purely because of the run that Judd Trump is on at the minute. And particularly in this part of the world, in China. Lifted the Shanghai Masters last month. Deconstructing Ronnie O'Sullivan in his own backyard, 10 frames to 3 in the semis, and then hammering Sean Murphy in the final as well. Begs the question, what is it going to take to stop Judd in China?
$28. $29.
In Shanghai, he was totally in the groove, totally in the zone, appeared all week. It does seem to take an extra sense of satisfaction out of winning these days without being on his best.
35.
Yeah, that ripple of applause signifies has the frame won. It's a nice start for him. Just wanted to stamp his authority on the match against the more inexperienced
42.
opponent. Daniel Wells can win this match, but only
43.
if he gets the first chance. Not in most of the frames. If he's in first, the winning and losing the match is in his hands.
49.
As good as Judd is, can't do anything about it. He's sitting down.
50. $57. 58.
Tremendous shot. frame well won, but still to have the ability to do it at any stage. It's worse he's getting.
That's a poor positional shot.
67.
I'd like to see you pot this from here, Judd.
Judd Trump 67 at break.
And with that contribution, Judd Trump wins the first frame. He leads 1-0. Daniel Wells just tidying up chalk around his tip there.
The second frame, Daniel Wells to break.
Did get a little bit of table time in that first frame. That'll just help him settle down. And obviously, Judd Trump is a very tough opponent for him. His first opponent, probably himself. Just to manage those emotions, his expectations.
One.
Nice putt from Judd. Didn't know exactly where the white was going. So it was a little bit fortunate the black didn't go in.
Judd Trump 1.
Excellent safety shot there from Daniel. Judging not only pace but also the line. It's always a good reference point if you can get the white behind the yellow or green. That line tends to block off one side of the table. And these are very important exchanges at the start of the frame. Just to try and get control.
Judd trying to
Ball
find
and a
the
miss.
thin edge of the red, and
Daniel Wells 4.
it does have to be a thin edge because it's going to be going dangerously close to the jaws of the corner pocket should he not catch the paintwork. Daniel Wells just weighing up his options here, whether to have this cue ball replaced.
Okay.
I think it's wise to put the white back here because, as I say, Judd has to hit this red so thin. Well, he's missed it, and now that does make a difference because I'm pretty convinced that Judd can see a red full
Foul
ball
and miss.
here.
Daniel Wells 4.
Remember, you don't have to see both extreme edges of the ball. You just have to be able to see it full. If he can, the referee will warn him here that he has to make contact with a red.
Just a second. More. Just wait, I need to check, is it?
Yeah, it's very tight this, and the referee doing the right thing here, just getting the ball marker out. Just to see if Judd can hit a red full ball. There's a red just left of the pink. Obviously can't see from this angle, but looks very tight as to whether Judd can get through to that one. Daniel Wells will be hoping that he can.
This is a full ball. That red. This red. The pink beside the pink. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a full ball. You miss the full ball twice. Yeah. If you miss again, you lose this red.
So the referee just explaining to Judd that that red left of the pink there, he can see full in the face, so has to hit a red.
Yeah, the referee, Liu Shiwei there, wasn't enough just to tell him, yeah, this is your third attempt. She had to tell him that if you don't hit it, you will lose the frame. Without that official warning. You could argue the case, but Judd himself was well aware of it. Daniel and Judd, good friends, but I'd be surprised if Daniel was still thinking he hoped his friend miscued.
Yeah, you're praying for anything there, aren't you? A miscue, a drift, an earthquake, anything.
Would have liked that white tighten the cushion. Seen Judd pop many of these for many years.
Oh, wow.
One.
And that was the difference. Daniel Wells failing to get that cue ball tight to the baulk cushion meant that long red seduced Judd Trump, and as he so often does, knocks them in with ease. Daniel Wells has to compete in every department today, not just when he gets his chance and he's in amongst the balls. He has to score, of course, but tactically he's got to be very streetwise if he's going to take this man down. Because you leave him just a sniff of a chance from that sort of distance, and it could be big trouble.
7.
Poor shot there from Judd to be straight. You can see that reaction. Such a simple pot. Basically had one thing to do. Get high on the blue. Very well struck shot. Desperate that the white comes far enough. That red that's just to the right, the black spot, which he's obviously not on. Nice pot, but as long as that red is just going to be just to the right of the black when it goes on that spot. It's just going to make it far from ideal to compile the break, but played a nice little shot there.
18.
And that little issue I talked about could well be gone.
19.
Certainly if that red I mentioned earlier does go by the black,
26.
makes this quite a good opportunity.
27.
This time he does get correct side of the blue. Just a couple of reds in open play still for Judd. He'd like to be dead straight on the black and just screw back for the red into the same pocket.
32.
But he's going to be going back up for blue again here.
$33. $38. $39.
Another really well controlled positional shot. Inch perfect.
44. 45. 50.
Two reds and two blacks here means he will need one of
51.
those four reds underneath the pink. So we'll have to go into them. Got the perfect angle here on this red to go up for the blue if he
58.
chooses. Just float the cue ball top side, play a little holding cannon into the pack, just nestle a couple out into the open plate. Doesn't need to hit this too hard.
59.
Just left of the pink may be ideal. Well, he went pretty full to the pink. And that's why he's not on one.
64.
Clever shot from Judd there. By pushing that red into the baulk pocket.
Judd Trump,
He's
64.
also got the cover there, as you see. He's well aware. Daniel 57 behind, 59 on the table. Can only afford one pink, the rest blacks. It's going to be a lot harder to get pink or black. The red's in the baulk area.
Very difficult cueing from the jaws of that corner pocket. Had the cue ball been slightly away from that, Judd would have taken one of the reds on by the pink spot to right corner by now. Doesn't like it, so choosing to be patient. Again, he doesn't have to push the boat out at all here, Judd Trump. He just needs to mind his work. It's Daniel that has to make the comeback in this frame. It's he who may have to take the risk or two. And this another very good safety shot from Judd Trump. Perfect line, perfect pace. Now Daniel has got to try and navigate his way in and out of baulk, avoid blue and pink, try and rest up possibly onto the red on the top cushion. It's quite pacey and the line's no good either.
Foul.
Very difficult
Four.
shot for Daniel Wells. A very good shot from Judd Trump to put him there, and one that is probably won in this frame. Well, that was wide.
Still every chance, of course, Judd will win this frame. Daniel needing snooker, but just a little bit annoyed at himself. Just could be some extra time and energy wasted here unnecessarily. And even if he doesn't get the snookers and win the frame, it's also given Daniel a little bit more table time. Judge the pace of the table, settle himself down even more. So if in the third frame he does get a chance, he's more likely to take it.
Six.
Daniel Wells from a part of the world that has produced many good snooker players. First got on the Pro Tour back in 2008, spent a number of years sort of in between, on and off the circuit. Getting on the tour, dropping off the tour. He's certainly served his apprenticeship in this game, Daniel Wells. Thoroughly deserves his place amongst the game's elite players, the top 128 players in the world. And he's set himself up very nicely at the start of this season to have a very good campaign. And these are the sorts of occasions that he'll need to learn to relish.
Yeah, you can just see there, it just has the angle just to roll through. This is a good opportunity.
15.
Putting this black. You can see the snooker's guaranteed. He's just taking a little bit of time out to try and work out where's the best place or worst place for Judd to leave this red and ideally get it close to a colour. Brings in the possibility of a free ball. Again, putting the black could be 39 behind. So with a 1 4-point snooker, he could tie. Snooker's guaranteed. Just try and push it over. So a couple of cushions might go to close towards the yellow. Well, maximised the shot there rather than just stun the white on the cushion. Screwed in behind the black makes the escape more difficult. And at first glance, where Judd's looking that from the right-hand side cushion, brown ball looks to be in play. But go very close to the brown or to hit the red. Of course, if he plays at a pace and misses, he could well leave a free ball. Yeah, he was so afraid of the brown ball.
Foul.
It's just the other way.
4.
To be fairly straight. Don't think he can pot that red and get down for the black. But again, he's every chance. An easy snook if he stuns the red around.
Well, that's a really good pot from Daniel Wells, considering. And now he needs to pot this thin black and find a path back to the yellow. Could be a big frame for Daniel Wells, this. If he can force the respot, he's got a chance of nicking this. Still a lot of work to be done between now and then. First, pot this black. Nicely done. And he's nicely on that yellow. That's a very good shot.
8.
Yeah, earlier on, the first semi-final, seen great respot of black. Ronnie won with a left-handed double to corner.
10.
Daniel, before the match, probably would have settled, even for just being 1-all at the start, just to try and settle in. But what a frame to win this would be, needing the snooker. Again, just shows how costly that careless mistake from Judd was.
13.
If the frame was still live, Judd Trump would have definitely potted it. Maybe just switched off for a second.
He did that cue ball to run on a fraction further, Daniel Wells, from potting the green. This brown now trickier than it perhaps could have been. You feel one good shot here, nicely on the blue, and We're heading towards the respot. Yeah, he's changing his mind. He's up and down the white. You can see there. Can't decide what shot to play. Just needs to take a step back here and reset. Just have clarity over the shot before you commit.
$17.
I think he's straight enough that he can just roll it in and play for the pink into the opposite corner. Just wants to keep it as simple as possible. Wants to have a simple pink and then a simple black. Well, he's missed the simple blue.
Daniel Wells, 17.
Maybe slightly preoccupied with where he would land in the pink, but Cardinal Sin is missing the blue. After all that work. Having said that, I think it was easier. Judd would have pot it by now. As it turned out, he was well able to pot it. Just probably took that extra second or two to make sure he didn't go on off or do anything silly. Again, be relieved Judd Trump at this frame one. He's had to win it for the second time.
Judd Trump 5 and the frame.
But it took a while, but eventually he's won it. Judd Trump leads 2-0.
The third frame, Judd Trump to break.
Very early in the match, best of 11. I do feel already Daniel Wells must win this. Goes 3-0 down. It's hard to see him coming back. Not that for a second he'll give up. You just feel he just would then run out of time. Hasn't made any glaring mistakes, really, to be fair, in amongst them. But obviously missing that blue. Would have forced a respot. Would have hurt him. But it's the start of the frame, as I mentioned before, that is crucial. Quite simply, if he doesn't get in first, he's going to lose this match, and could lose it
Foul and a miss.
considerably.
Judd, 4. Free ball.
Just felt like a really big frame, a really big moment, that last one. Daniel Wells, there was no guarantees that he would have gone on to even win the respot, so we may still be at this situation where Judd is leading 2-0, but it just felt like perhaps that moment was just a little bit too big for Daniel Wells. He took a second longer than he may have usually done over that blue. Perhaps he just bigged it up too much and put himself under it for no reason, really. Look at this shot from Judd.
In any other instance, Judd would have put Daniel back.
1.
But as early as it is, and unlikely as it is, he spotted that there's a chance of a break over 147. That's gone now. But that's why he played it.
Judd Trump, 1.
Just took a gamble. It's so rare that that opportunity comes up. Just felt it was a free go on the green. Wasn't going to leave anything. But again, that was another time. He would have got Daniel either to play the shot again, or from where he was snookered. But that little bit of excitement is gone. It's Daniel with a chance.
Well, he'll take that,
1.
Daniel Wells. Favourable flick on the black, pushing it onto right corner pocket. And this is where he's got to compete with Judd Trump when he's in scoring. Looking at his score sheets from this week, there's no reason to suggest that he can't compete in this department. He hasn't made a century break here in this venue this week. But from the 20 frames that he's won here, 16 of those,
8.
he made a 50-plus break in, so he has been finding the high numbers when he's needed them. And boy, does he need them today.
Nine.
See, there's a red just slightly detached from the back of the pack. I wonder if he's straight enough to just float through and leave himself low on that red to bring more reds into play. Does have the option to get straight into them from the black here, though. No, he's played it well. Good shot.
$16.
Yeah, well controlled. The full ball contact on the red. As a result, that stopped the white. Once he ended up losing the frame, he did get an extra little bit of table time. A bit more likely to maximise this chance.
$24. $25.
See from that camera angle there, the red, the bottom of the pack.
32.
Just have the angle just to pot that again. Disturb the pack, go up for the blue. Has to be a little bit careful. Those two reds close by could just stop the white in its tracks. Could potentially play the red into the middle, which would just free up that area. field one good pot, nice split and be on a colour. It's a great chance to win the frame.
$33.
Yeah, screwing back off the cushion just to reduce the risk. A little bit thin on the blue, but I feel he just has to pot it, come back down. Brown not being on its spot certainly was to his advantage. He's done a lot of hard work
38.
to create this excellent chance. Just a question of good cue ball control, and more importantly, keeping his concentration.
They have met on
39.
6 previous occasions, Judd and Daniel. And although Judd Trump leads their head-to-head 5-1, their most recent meeting was won by this man, Daniel Wells. In the last 32 of the 2023 Welsh Open, on home soil for Daniel.
46.
And when you're playing these sorts of players, the top players, you're looking for any crumb of evidence to suggest that you've got a chance of winning this game, and that may be the bit of hope that Daniel's relying on today. The fact that he has beaten Judd Trump in the past, the fact he knows he can do it. Of course, this is a big step up, a ranking event semi-final. Chance to book your place
47.
for the very first time in the title match. But you've got to be in it to win it. And it's Daniel's job in this little mini session to try and get something out of these last 2 frames before the interval. Keep himself in it with a chance to win it.
$55.
Yeah, just a fraction off straight, which is actually a poor shot. At worst, he should have been straight or a little bit low, ideally. Again, if he was perfect on the black, he'd have already put the black in the next red by now. Just make it a little bit more difficult, and at such a crucial stage of this frame.
$62.
You can hear him calling for the extended rest. This looks quite straight. So he's probably left with the option of screwing back. If he's screwing back, he's going to still be probably close to the cushion. So he'd need to be high on the blue.
Yeah, you could see from that angle he was almost the wrong side of straight. Meant that he couldn't get away from the cushion, and that put even more importance on getting
63.
top side of the blue. He had to be high there so he could just float this cue ball through, and as you can see, he's the wrong side. Plenty of traffic in balk as well. So just going to be pushing through and playing the bottom red into right corner. This now the shot that's probably going to win him this frame, Daniel Wells.
68.
Just needs to steady himself. Take a deep breath, commit, and knock it in. And he's missed it. And it was all because of the previous red.
Daniel Wells, 68.
Yeah, you wouldn't be too critical of Daniel missing that red. That wasn't the issue. The issue is that he left himself a red you could possibly miss.
And you could go even further back to say that he shouldn't have been the wrong side of the black a few moments ago. Had he have been just off straight low on that black, it was a formality. Would have been setting this frame up 2-1, cracking on with the next, and he's got to endure just a little bit more pain as he tries to get over the line in this frame. There's nothing safe either, which will fill him with anxiety.
Giving this a little bit of thought. He does have a ready pot to the left corner. Just coming around to have a look at the potting angle, but it'll take a little bit of work to avoid the reds. That makes the pot a little more difficult. And the fact that it's more or less game ball adds to the issues as well. Very well struck.
1.
Yeah, no harm seeing that again. Beautiful bit of cueing. He would have loved that white just to hold up a touch. Would have had a choice of yellow, pink, or even brown. Judd will be in a world of trouble, or should be. Just put this white literally in between pink and yellow. Touch and ball on both would be nice.
Daniel Wells 1.
Well, he didn't get tight in behind the pink, but he has got the snooker, as you can see. But this is a pretty straightforward escape for Judd Trump. Could maybe try and catch the thin edge of one of these reds and go back to baulk with the chance of possibly hitting either of the three in a diagonal line. Well, he has hit one of them and he's caught it too thick, and now that's surely the end of this third frame. Just needs to make sure he removes one of these reds from the table. That red to middle very thin, but it's all he needs.
Brown. Daniel Wells 1. Frame conceded. Daniel Wells.
Both players go to the toilet. Daniel Wells will be feeling a lot better. He's reduced the deficit. Judd Trump still leads 2 frames to 1.
frame 4, Daniel Wells to break.
Daniel Wells just waiting a couple of moments for the crowd to settle. Felt he had to win the last frame, and he did. Certainly, if he could win this one, win the interval 2-all, he'd be delighted. He's up and running in the match. He's started off with a bad break. It's already you'd expect Judd to pot.
Now, where's the red going to rest? I think he may have covered the red to left corner for Daniel Wells, so quite fortunate that for Judd Trump, having missed the pot. You never know where it's going to finish. It's been a big old effort from Daniel Wells this week and in the qualifiers just to get here to this stage. Bar his convincing 5-1 win over Dominic Dale, he's played out 2 5-3s and 2 5-4s. Was only just scraped through the qualifiers, beating Ali Carter. Final frame 62-52. So it was obviously won on the final colour. And that is a brilliant long red from Judd Trump. Again, highlighted by the fact that Daniel Wells needs to get his cue ball into deep balk when playing safe. Hand on table from there, this man does not miss.
Judd Trump, 1.
He was under no pressure either, Daniel Wells, to get a good cue ball from his previous shot with the rest. Massive misjudgment.
Prowling around the table, just trying to find a path for the white and then a spot somewhere in the reds. He won't leave another red on. Excellent shot. Again, for the pattern of the frame as well, that red being removed from the black. There's no harm. Judd would love if that red passed the other red into the middle pocket. Just has to pot it and stun the white for the black. Must be tight. There's certainly no nap on these cloths that if you aim for the far jaw, drift in.
Oh, well, dear me, what a pot that is from Judd Trump at that pace as well. Into those middle pockets. At the best of times, you have to drop them in. Absolutely pumped it in.
Yeah, what was he looking at? Flew in.
Fit a bus through there.
8.
Tanya can feel probably a little bit unfortunate to play such a good escape. To just actually push that red on, which you couldn't control. Full marks to his application and effort. But the end result might still be the same. Judd's long game and his range of shots.
9.
It's such an asset. You don't have to win the frame in one visit. Pot that red, to get control, snookered his opponent, creates another opportunity. Then ideally from there, he can win the frame. From my own experience playing Judd Trump, this is why you would fear
60.
playing him. You leave him along red, you know he's going to go for it. More importantly, there's every chance he'll get it and win the frame. You can feel a little bit
17.
intimidated, a little bit inferior. You know, sometimes playing him, I felt like I was bringing a water pistol to a gunfight. And that just also then puts extra bit of pressure on your safety. You feel your safety has to be perfect.
Of course, this event concludes tomorrow, a best of 19 final to become the first ever Xi'an Grand Prix champion. Straight over to Saudi Arabia next week for the new event. And then the next event on UK soil, the English Open, which tickets are still available for. The final has sold out. Last season, Judd Trump lifted that event. Head to wst.tv. Check out all the tickets that are available for all the tournaments. In fact, it was that English Open last season that really sort of kick-started Judd Trump's incredible campaign.
30.
He lifted that English Open title and then went on to win back-to-back-to-back tournaments. Just looking at his CV
31.
actually from last season, and I feel dizzy there's that many zeros on the screen. Pocketed just shy of £1 million in prize money alone on the table. That's
38.
without exhibitions.
Whether he likes it or not.
$39.
Just weighing up his options there. Caught a little bit more of the red when he screwed back than he wanted. So he's got fairly straight pink. If the red below the pink passes to the corner, that'll be okay, but it's tricky. So pot the black and you have a red at the same corner. As you can see there.
$46.
Just glanced at those three reds, you can see that are lined up. They're not set to this corner pocket. You can see it's set to the top jaw. But again, another well-played
47.
positional shot. Getting top side of the blue means he's got the option to go into the reds now. If he could hit the cue ball down the table anywhere, he'd just drift it past the pink to the right side, just float it through the reds. Well, he's decided to play for red to middle. Felt the cannon was too risky. Could have potentially gone wrong. And that's another very good pot from Judd Trump.
53.
And he's played that one perfectly. Right on the red, in amongst them.
$59.
So one more red required for Judd
65.
Trump to take a commanding interval lead. just slowly working through the gears now. He's found a lovely tempo, a lovely rhythm around the table.
73.
When he gets in this sort of groove, he can be very hard to stop.
74.
The exception of that
81.
blue he missed at the end of the second frame. Daniel hasn't done a
82.
lot wrong. But when you're playing the best player in the world, playing his best, it's going to come down to those small margins.
88.
Again, difficult task at the start of the match. Obviously made more difficult now with the
89.
fact Judd leading 3-1.
$96.
Needed to be right behind this red to just drop it into the middle. Not a very big opening there, and he's missed it, so no century from Judd Trump.
96.
He won't be too bothered though. Good performance so far from Judd Trump. He leads 3 frames to 1.
3. 3. Frame 5. Judd Trump to break.
So Judd Trump breaking off, needing 3 frames to 1. Daniel Wells, he'd be happy enough with how he's playing, but he'd be a bit concerned the fact he's not getting as many chances as he'd like. The standard Judd is playing, this kind of red, as difficult as it is, you feel he has to pot it. Yeah, not only has he potted, he's managed to keep the white short of that balk line. It's very hard to think that Judd will come back or drop his standards in any way. So it's going to be on Daniel to try and take the initiative. Sounds simple, but he's got to get in first. And then from there, certainly don't miss anything easy. Doesn't have to win in one visit from there, but he needs to be getting first chance at it. Again, this is a great start here.
The positional shot from the green to red was particularly good. He couldn't have wished for the cue ball to have landed in a better position. Landed perfect on the red next to the black to open things up. So first good chance in this frame to Daniel Wells, carved out off his own doing. Fantastic opening red. This is the difference against the best players in the world. You're not going to get many chances, but the half chances you do get, you've got to try and carve out opportunities that could potentially turn into frame-winning chances. Sometimes you have to make something from nothing. In the live updated rankings, Daniel Wells sits at 53rd in the world.
20.
So he's well in the 64 now, which was obviously a target of his coming into this campaign initially. Been ranked as high as 52nd, so this season could see him reach new heights.
21. Twenty-four.
So if he's playing safe here, Daniel Wells, which he is, he has to ensure he gets a good cue ball. couple of times in this game already, he's left the white well
Daniel
short
Wells,
of the baulk
24.
cushion. Now, possible chance of a pot to left corner if the red will squeeze past another. The bottom red of the 3 beneath the pink. Cue ball heading back to baulk as well. A round of applause from the audience will do Daniel's mood no good. Judd didn't intend for that red to go over the pocket.
Also compounded by the fact there's no obvious path back to baulk. Can't get at any of the reds. Come over the right-hand side and around. So it's a bit of a problem here. Again, the priority
现场观众
should
把
be,
手机调成静音，谢谢。
doesn't matter what shot he plays, but when Judd Trump comes to the table, ideally that he can pot. I'm not sure he can swerve around, get past the middle pocket and get a good enough contact on the inside red. The inside of the red so close to the corner. And it's that red that's causing the problem. May have to, if possible, just roll it dead weight, try and nestle onto something. Question of patience, just try and wait and find some shot. Which I have to say is a massive piece of luck for Judd.
Yeah, he's in big trouble here, Daniel Wells, looking for anything to try and get out of this position. I think he's got to try and figure out a way to just contain things this shot. Doesn't want to do anything too rash. He's looking at trying to screw back into baulk. 3-ball plant to try and move the red away. Well, that's what he tried, and that was a very big shot to try and take on. Possibly too risky. Felt he obviously had no other shots, but surely there's always a shot to contain.
Judd walking down. You can see the measurements there he's got left. We'll call it 12 foot. Again, just coming down just to try and pot it. Get away from the jaws. Beyond the black.
Wow.
Such as his cue power, even from the full length of the table, you still expect him to be able to get enough backspin to get on the black. Looking to play the dump shot, and if he does leave the white tight on the baulk cushion, just making sure he's covering that red. If he plays it well enough, Daniel will only be able to play the right hand side of the outside of that red which would mean Judd would probably keep control.
Judd Trump, 1.
Might have been afraid to play the dump shot, fearful that he mightn't cover that red, but might have a little piece of stalemate here. Neither player will want to give the advantage and let the other player play a red, get it down the table.
And it's in Dan's interest to avoid a stalemate here because he has got the points advantage in this frame.
Yeah, but if he's too concerned with that lead and doesn't want to give it away, he's probably more likely to be the one to take an unnecessary risk. Just getting that balance right. That looks like a nice shot. Forcing Judd. If not force him, certainly tempting him. He can come off the side cushion, roll into the red beside the green, guaranteed, but
Yeah, that red by the green is effectively out of play now where it is. Because even if either player leaves sight at it, there's no value to it. You can't remove it from where it is. So that would be just left alone now. That mini stalemate is over. And Judd catching that red too thin has left Daniel with hand on table here. The sort of distance you would set up on a practice table. Well, he actually left Dan available to pot the red closest to the corner pocket, and he's overcut it by some way.
One.
Judd will want to try and do as much damage to this break as quickly as possible with as high value colour as possible, because that will then take that red in baulk out of the equation and kill the frame off before that red. It won't matter.
Eight.
Playing on this red. To
13.
right corner opens black up into both pockets, and now there is no reason why Judd can't keep himself on the black.
14.
Score a little bit heavier.
Twenty-two. 21. 22. 27. 28. $35. Foul, foul, foul. Judd Trump,
Fair play to
35,
Judd.
Daniel Wells, 4.
As soon as he hit the wide, he was up off it. I'd like to see it again. Mind you, considering the reds were so close together, he did get a lot of topspin on it. No wonder he got that extra topspin if he hit it twice.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that one back actually, because the cue ball's finished pretty much where he wanted it to finish, and usually when you double hit the white about 10 times as you go through, the white could quite easily have gone round the table. He must have felt something though, Judd Trump, otherwise he wouldn't have declared it. Very honest of him, you only know that as a player, it's a feeling.
Yeah, he was up straight away. Just the slightest of touches, obviously, on the follow-through. That's how he felt it.
Makes a big difference as well, that, because without the black after the red and the foul points, that red next to the green now is in play. So regardless of what happens with these final 3 reds, either player will need it. Although Daniel Wells, that is disastrous. That red could have gone anywhere, and in missing it, catches the jaws of the pocket, comes across and does all the hard work for Judd Trump. And I'm not surprised he's having a little giggle to himself. I can assure you it's not a good giggle. It's a ready to chuck your cue into Rose Ed giggle.
1.
And the other red on the balk line, again on that side of the table for Judd. So you look just to roll this red in,
6.
and if he's high on the black, he can then just roll that in for the next red below it to come off the cushion. But
7.
still the same principle applied. Has to go about it the other way, which you would have thought was going to be the last red. Play that first.
Yeah, he was just able to hold that cue ball nicely on this red. Well, he's missed it. He had enough angle there that he didn't have to overhit that shot, and at that pace I expected him to pot it. Not accurate enough. So Daniel Wells with a possible reprieve. This is now a very big frame to win.
One.
Well, you couldn't write it.
3.
just had to give himself a shot on the red, and he snookered himself behind the
Daniel
black.
Wells,
So this
break.
frame has become very cagey. Both players making a number of errors. In the context of the match, it's a very big one. Daniel Wells just has to win this frame. However he wins it, he just has to win it.
Missed opportunity there from Judd. Shouldn't have had both balls on one half of the table. It had to be the other side. More or less guaranteed a snooker.
请不要发出声音。
Somebody in the crowd obviously moving, just distracted him in his eye line.
Well, that could possibly be a very big error from Daniel Wells,
and a
because
miss.
this now is a free ball.
Free ball. Judge Trump 4.
Obviously trying to catch the thin edge of the red, Dan. So he can attempt this brown to the middle pocket, knowing that he can't leave the red. Just float it in. Get himself on blue or pink.
Brown.
Well, chose to play it to the corner, and that's a good pot from Judd. He's back on the brown again.
Yeah, and of course, if he missed it, he was still guaranteed the snooker.
1.
Earlier on in his career, he wouldn't have even seen that option. Middle of his career, he would have seen it, but still went for the pot fully committed. But he's just becoming the all-round player.
5.
Can't play this dead weight to give it every chance. Generally, this kind of shot played at dead weight has been going in this week.
Judge Trump 5.
Surprised, kind of opted out. You'd have to say the shot was to play it dead weight, give it every chance.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that he didn't, to be honest, because, as you say, these pockets have been playing on the generous side. And that's a good pot from Daniel Wells.
1.
I can understand why Judd chose against it, because if he misses it, he was guaranteed to leave it. Playing at the pace he did, he had a chance of getting it safe, I suppose, but he's almost just shied away from it.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did enough of an angle to get the white up the table and more or less guarantee his safety.
And I bet he wished he tried to drop the red in now, as he pretty much sits right behind Daniel Wells as
8.
he lines himself up for this yellow. Needs to be just off straight on the green. He does have a little bit of an angle. He just came around just to have a little glance. Does have the option of playing into the green to try and promote it.
Don't think that was the shot either. Pot the yellow, give yourself a shot on the green. If you didn't land perfect, you can always stun the green around and guarantee a snooker. I think if you gave him 10 attempts, he'd be more likely to be more successful dropping the yellow in, try and pot the green, then pot that yellow and get, not just hit the green, but trying to promote it that you can pot it.
Yeah, again, it was a low percentage shot.
And he's just compounded that with a poor shot. There's no way after
Daniel Wells.
potting
10.
the yellow, Judd should be able to pot this. Poor choice followed by a poor execution. It sounds very simple, but if you decided not to go for a pot, you decide to play safe. And if you decide to play safe, well then get it safe.
Judd refusing that green purely because he felt too difficult to control the cue ball for the brown.
Still a little bit surprising. Didn't play it maybe medium pace. You might have got a bit of cover even with the brown. Yeah, doesn't fancy it. Played that well, didn't try to do too much. Priority was getting the good contact on the green to get it safe. The frame's getting more and more interesting and also more important. Both players will be disappointed if they lose this frame.
Now a chance for Daniel Wells from range. This green is on to left corner. It will need good cueing. But one good pot here, and he could be in. Now where's it going to finish? Well, he's left it. So green and brown required for Judd Trump to extend his lead to 4-1. There have been a few twists and turns in this frame. I've never been all that confident as to who's going to win it, but of course it's this man, Judd Trump, who's found a way yet again.
12.
He may have broken the back of this match. He's in a very commanding position now.
18.
The crowd enjoy that black. And Judd Trump will enjoy the fact he's won that frame. He now leads 4-1.
frame 6, Daniel Wells to break.
Daniel Wells breaking off in a frame he absolutely has to win. Losing that last frame would be hard to take, not just for the damage it's done on the scoreboard, but he did have chances, he could have won it. On the other side, it's just going to make Judd feel even more comfortable, more confident. But again, Daniel's got to try and forget about all that. Rather than looking at the top of the mountain, just try and take it one step at a time, break it down to little mini games. That catching that jaw just brought it out. It's giving Judd a chance.
Well, another one he's missed. I'm gobsmacked. He's missed 2 like that in this match so far.
He was up very quick off the shot. And he just seemed there with his hand going across where the slate of the table would be. And he must have felt that it affected the path of the white. But once he's missed it, went into the pack, he can consider himself very fortunate. He didn't leave Daniel a very easy starter. And with the balls open, it would have been a good chance.
Decided to play more of an exhibition style safety shot there, Judd Trump. And again, it could have landed a lot worse than where it has done. Left nothing on for Daniel Wells, who has to just try and stay patient.
pace on the red, just kept it out because he did go very close. The end result is he's missed on 56. Daniel Wells has a chance.
A chance he just wasn't ready to take, unfortunately.
Yeah, you just feel, despite his best efforts, he's just slipping away from him.
One.
But even if he does end up losing today, Daniel, so many positives for him to take from this week. Great wins. Plenty of money, plenty of ranking points. And the next time he's in a semi-final, in this situation, big crowd, he'll just be that little bit more comfortable.
4.
And it is a process, it is a journey.
5.
It can just be slow, small steps along the way. But it's great to see him back playing. Again, he'd be disappointed if he does lose, of course. But he's known far worse, far darker days than losing in
9.
semi-finals of ranking events.
Yeah, absolutely. When the dust
10.
has settled and that prize money hits the bank account, all of a sudden things don't seem as bad. Obviously out there in the arena, it can feel like the end of the world. The fact that you've had a chance to get into a ranking final. But this is a stepping stone
15.
for Daniel Wells, who spent a number of seasons yo-yoing on and off the tour. Now finds himself well cemented as a member of the World Snooker Tour
16.
in the top 64. Results coming. He can definitely kick on from this. Judd now only needs one more frame to book his place in tomorrow's final, where
18.
he'll potentially take on Kyron Wilson. Now, what can Daniel Wells do for the remainder of this match?
Yeah, Daniel Wells totally writing his obituary in this match. Give him a lot of confidence, but also other players lower down the ranks. This will give him a little bit of confidence. They'll see Daniel Wells get to the semi-final of an event or better and think,
25.
well, I could do that as well. And actually, if you take it, if somebody was to do it in Saudi Arabia,
26.
the next tournament, and lost in the semi-final, actually get £100,000 rather than 34.5 that Daniel's got. So
33.
tremendous opportunities on the tour, long
34.
term. Certainly, that tournament that's next, massive opportunity for everybody.
$41. 42.
Yeah. Haven't seen too much naughty snooker this week.
49.
Uh,
51.
Crowd enjoy that. We all did. Want to see some more. Ugh, boring.
Boo.
54.
Come on, fizz it round, Judd.
We can all roll them in.
58.
Of course, new venue, new area for snooker. They haven't probably seen this before, this range of shots. they're enjoying it. And it's great to
63.
see.
What do you mean? You've been doing this your whole career, Fergal.
With the
63,
contribution,
and a break. That's
Judd
fine.
Trump continues his march to the final. He leads 5-1.
Frame 7, judge
Yeah,
of a break.
fair play to the crowd, giving Daniel plenty of encouragement as he comes back in, trying to lift his spirits. Of course, Judd is a favourite of many people around the world, but they also want to see more frames. They don't want their evening's entertainment to end.
Yeah, it's really good to see that, actually. Really good to hear, because, as you say, wherever we go in the world, the crowds want to see the top players, but first and foremost, they're all snooker fans. And a lot of these people in this arena today will have followed Daniel Wells' progress throughout the week as Judd plays a howler of a safety shot. They'll have followed Daniel Wells' progress related to it. You know, it's a big story, this, for Daniel Wells. We all want to see him make some sort of a comeback here. Make more of a game of this. So he's got the opportunity here on the yellow to get into the pack of reds if he wishes. Does have 2 reds available to left corner. He could just stun off 1 cushion for.
Five. Six.
Chose to take himself out of the arena for a good few minutes after that previous frame, Daniel Wells. Probably just to have a word with himself in the bathroom. Just try and relax up a little bit, but missing a black like that won't help.
Daniel Wells,
Probably
6.
just tried to convince himself that, you know, he's got nothing to lose now, just let your arm go, but missing balls like that at any level is criminal. Now, can Judd pot this black thin enough and get into the pack of reds? He could. Took the opportunity straight away, as he always does, to play the attacking shot.
8.
One good positional shot, one good piece of control here, using the rest for Judd. And Daniel Wells will be fearing the worst. Needs another good pot now, though.
9.
Further away from this black than he would have liked.
Sixteen. 17.
The difference between winning and losing today is £41,500, which is exactly the amount Judd Trump is behind the world number 1, Mark Allen. So winning this match, they both be tied. But on count
24.
back, as in who's done the best most recently, Judd Trump will go back to world
25.
number 1.
It just felt inevitable, didn't it? You know, Judd Trump's dominance
30.
continues in snooker. He really is at a purple patch in his career.
31.
Winning has become a habit for him.
Yeah, if he does
37.
go on and continue this break and win. What an absolute cracker of a match we have tomorrow. We literally
38.
have the world number 1 against the world champion. Couldn't ask for better. And over the distance, 2 sessions, best of 19. They have had their history over the years.
45.
Judd and Kyron
46.
on and off the table. Which might just add to it. They do seem to be on better terms the last few years, but their professional pride will kick in.
51.
Certainly not to be missed tomorrow.
Yeah, very mature comments from Kyron Wilson after his semi-final win over Ronnie O'Sullivan, saying, acknowledging that, you know, Judd is pretty much dominating this sport at the minute, and he's just happy that he's performing to a level that may keep pushing him, which will in turn push Kyron as well. These two brilliant players will show down to become the first ever Xi'an Grand Prix champion tomorrow over the best of 19 frames.
60.
You will not want to miss a shot.
It's been a great week of snooker.
68.
It's been a great new venue. They're going to get the final they deserve. Trump just keeps marching on.
75.
Credit to Daniel Wells. Battled his heart out today. Just didn't quite have that level of
76.
form or sharpness that he would have needed to play the best player in the world. But he's had a fantastic week, and hopefully that sets him up brilliantly for a great season.
80.
He's a hard worker, loves the game. Kind of guy you'd like to
81.
see have success. And at the very top level for him, this is still a learning experience.
86. 87.
And he has a couple of days, Daniel Wells, to prepare and reset for Saudi Arabia. It wouldn't be a surprise to see Daniel have another run next week, full of the confidence he'll take from this week here. But today's all about this man, Judd Trump, into yet another ranking
94.
final, taking on the world champion tomorrow.
$96. 99.
Pot that then.
Hold my beer. Get in there, go on. Oh!
99 and the match.
A tremendous attempt and a tremendous victory. Widely appreciated by the crowd. Judd Trump, another polished professional performer.